Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is our second DIY art kit tutorial that we're going to do today. This is a toucan and then this is a leaf. This is actually two pieces that are in this art kit. So we're going to take this out and we're going to start painting. Okay, let's go ahead and get it unpackaged. If you guys are interested in purchasing these to do at home, you're welcome to. I have my website linked in the bio if you want to check that out. So inside of your kit, you're going to get this is your reference card. You're going to have your art instructions are on the back. You're going to have all of your paints that you need. You're going to have two brushes. You're going to have a liner brush and also a flat brush that is included in your kit. You're going to have both of your plaster pieces. This is the leaf. It's in a mesh bag. Keeps it protected so it doesn't get all smashed up. And Toucan Sam. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull everything out of the bags. All of your paint. This is a sealer. You can use it or you don't have to use it. It's entirely up to you. Maybe we'll use it on this piece. I know I didn't do it on the flamingo, but then I'll do it on this piece to show you guys what it looks like. And here's Toucan and the fern leaf. For you crafters that have lots of paint and stuff at home, if you don't want to use this reference picture, that's totally fine. You don't have to paint Toucan this color. You can always paint him different, or her. Today, for the purpose of this video and for the tutorials, we're just going to do the reference picture paints. So actually, we're going to start off. Let's start off with this fern leaf. Just going to pop this paint open. And we're going to use the flat brush. Just dip it in your paint and just start painting. This is kind of a trending color this season. There's a lot of trending colors this season. Well, a little more laid back colors, not so bright and bold. You'll want to get down there in those cracks and crevices. Now, of course, you're going to want to put 2 coats on this. I'll give it that richer green color. Make sure you're smoothing out all of your imperfections. This is definitely a project you're going to get paint on your hands. So if you don't like to get paint on your hands, then this is probably not the project for you. It washes off with soap and water. Just work your way around the magnet. Don't paint the magnet because it won't stick on the refrigerator if you do that. Or if you wanted to just display it on your table as some sort of decoration, I mean, you can do that. You take the magnet off the back of it if you choose. Probably do that before you paint it, though. Okay, we're just going to set this off to the side and let this dry, and we'll go ahead and work on Toucan. That's one thing that's nice about these art kits that have two pieces in them. You can always start working on the next piece while the first piece is drying. My goodness, I forgot to mention, make sure that you have some clean water and some paper towels and something to cover your space so you don't get paint everywhere. We're going to start this, the next part of this Toucan. Can you guys see that card? Let's turn it around. The next part of the Toucan, we're going to paint the brown. And there's two different colors of brown. There's like a deep brown and a lighter brown in your kit. And then the orange, we're going to do his feet and his beak. Okay. So let's start with his body. Okay, so if you see this part of him, you see this part down to this little wavy part of his feathers, this is the part that we're going to do brown. You know what? I think we're going to do this brown in the wing. So you're going to want to dip your flat brush, just kind of get it up underneath the little ruffles there. This is a fun little project that you can do with friends and family, getting together for Thanksgiving or just, getting together. Nice quiet evening at home, just painting and listening to some music. Okay, so I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to go with this liner brush. Don't worry if you slip up and get a little here or there, you can cover it up with paint. Your piece is not ruined. You can just keep painting it. Paint over it. Once the layers are dry, I mean, if you wanted to change the color, you didn't like the way that color looked, you can always change it. I like doing these little projects. You can do them in the comfort of your home. You don't have to get up or go anywhere. I mean, but if you like getting up and going places, yeah, definitely. By all means, get up and go. But it's also nice to have quiet evenings at home, creating something beautiful. I believe this is another part of his wing over here, so we're going to go ahead and paint this part just kind of on the outside. See that? Just take your time, especially when you're doing the fine details. Just keep painting. As far as the back side, I'm not quite sure yet. This may be the one that I just leave blank. I think I'm going to. Okay. So there we go. So we're going to set this guy off to the side, and we're going to go back and we're going to pick up this fern. It is not too tacky. We are going to put the second layer on. Okay. Oh yeah. That second layer, once you put those on these magnets like this, oh my goodness, the colors are just deep and vibrant. Once this dries, you can go around and do all of your touch-ups on your little white spots that may be showing. But that green is very pretty. Very pretty green. An emerald. Which happens to be my birthstone. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then we're gonna go back and do some touch-ups on that. Ooh, okay. That looks fantastic. All right, we're going to give both of these pieces just a few minutes to dry before we move on to the next color. Okay, so the fern is still got a few wet spots in here. But we're going to go ahead and put the second coat on the toucan, the brown. See how much more vibrant the colors become when you put that second coat on it? I mean, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. It's your toucan. You do you, boo-boo. I am going to put 2 coats. Looks like we missed a spot right there. Okay. Get the back of the wing here. These are easy to do, you guys. I mean, just follow your reference picture if you want. If not, just create your own colors. Paint your bird whatever color you want. Okay. See how that looks so much better with that second coat. Okay. We're just going to set this one to the side. We're going to rinse this brush off. I'm going to go ahead, and this fern definitely looks like it needs another coat of green, which is going to make that color even richer. I'm going to go ahead and do that while this is drying. And usually those second and third coats go on pretty quickly. Piece of, sure what was on there. Okay. We are going to set that off to the side. We're going to let that dry. Okay. And you can always go back and do the touch-ups. We're going to add a little dimension onto here later once this dries completely. I'm going to rinse this brush out, and we're going to start on Toucan's underneath of his. I've got green paint on me. Anyway, we're going to start on that. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, we're back. The fern is still drying. This little guy is ready to get his next layer of paint. We're going to go with this lighter brown, the mocha. And we're going to use the flat brush on this one. Actually, put both of these over here. I do have a wet rag too. It's just good, especially if you're getting paint on your hands, because you're going to get paint on your hands. There's no way to do this project and not get paint on your hands. But at least you can wipe it off. I did get a little bit there on his tail, but we'll cover it up. Okay, so we're going to move here to the next section. We're just going to go right around his beak, because we're going to actually paint that a different color. Okay, I'm going to change brushes because it's starting to get to where you're needing to use a smaller brush for this. So we're going to move to the liner brush. I always dip it in a little bit of water. I don't know why I do that. I guess it's habit. You don't have to do that. You know, I've always been one of those hobbyists that really enjoyed like graphic arts, graphic design. A lot of my paintings, as well as like my paper mache bowls, you know, they're pretty whimsical. I've always enjoyed that type of art. To me, I think it's fun. I'm not one of those really serious type artists, you know, to paint like serious pictures, like these beautiful landscapes and, you know, Michelangelo or something that sort. But I just want art to make you smile and laugh, or it's funny if you go into some art galleries, it's interesting to watch people when they're staring at art, and it's almost like you can read the expressions on their face, or you want to walk up to them and go, a penny for your thoughts, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know, art just talks to you somehow. I mean, I remember when I was younger, you know, we would always lay in the grass up north. I came from up north, but and moved to Florida. Of course, I'm a transplant back in 1986, but it's been a long time. We used to lay in the grass and, you know, make pictures out of the clouds. And it's interesting how some people may not see what you see. I guess that's what makes all of us unique and different in our own ways. Okay, so we have that part of him done. I think what I'm going to do is do this tail part also. We'll have to come back and put a second coat on it. I'm going to do the tail the same color, but we're going to switch brushes again. See his tail? We're going to paint it like that tan cocoa color. Right over here on the side. See, in that little green spot, I don't know if you guys could see that, but I can here. It'll cover right up, especially when we go to put that second coat on there. Just dab it right now. Oh, I hope you guys enjoy painting these as much as I like to paint them with you. Let's change brushes. There's a few details here that we gotta cover up. Okay. So that looks good. We'll let it dry. We'll come back and put that second coat on. Now let's check out our fern here. Okay. I feel that this is dry enough to put some details. We're going to put some details on here. And what I'm going to do is take some of this light colored brown. And if you notice, there are some lighter highlights in this leaf. I mean, you can follow along that, or you can just do your own thing. I'm going to go here in between this leaf split. I'm just going to just barely touch that down through there, just to give it some sort of highlight. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe here on the edges a little bit. You see that? See how I'm doing that? It just gives it some detail. You guys do your leaf however you want to. Anyway, that gives it definitely some detail in there. Yeah. There is a little spot right here I need to fix. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm trying to, for the sake of this video, I'm trying to, I guess, work too quickly, huh? So I'm just going to dab this up a little bit here. There was a little white spot, and then I'm finding, since I'm leaving the back of that not painted, I'm going to seal it, and then I think that's a great idea. Like, if you're not going to paint the back of your magnet, you need to seal it for sure. Okay, so we're going to set this off. We're going to let that fern dry. Actually, that fern is done. It just needs to dry. We are going to go and we're going to paint his beak. And since his body is dry, his tail and his head aren't too dry yet. That's where we're going to hold on to him at. Okay. Okay, we're going to dip it in the orange. I remember back in the day when my kids were younger, I was a magnet collector. Oh my goodness. I think I still have magnets. I just don't have them on my refrigerator right now. I do have magnets on my refrigerator, but I have a whole bunch of magnets that I do not have on my refrigerator. I remember those little, ABC magnets that you could buy for the kids so they learn how to spell. Shoot, I think they had those back in the day, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. When I was a child, my grandmother had some. Of course, over the years, I've, put a lot of that away. But I still have magnets on my fridge. And I really like these magnets. I love the way these are turning out. Yep. So we're going to let him dry. Well, actually, we need to paint his feet, right? Let's paint his feet. We're just going to paint them the same color. And of course, you're going to want to paint the feet with your liner brush because these are tiny feet. Actually, there's a space there. Once it dries, you can always go back and fill in all of the details that you need to fill in on it. All the spaces and things that you missed. trying to keep this close enough to the camera where you guys can see it. Okay, we're going to let that dry. Okay, so that is dry there. We're going to go ahead and make this second coat on his head here. Remember to keep nice even strokes when you're painting. I mean, I guess you don't have to keep even strokes. You can paint it however you want. I mean, art is art. Art is language of the soul. Okay, let's get his tail. There's a little spot there in between that I need to get, but I'm going to have to use a smaller brush to do that. Okay, second coat. I am going to get right here in between this tail. Second coat on his beak and his feet. Let's just kind of start with his feet because that's where I'm at right now. Plus giving those feet a second coat. Okay. We're going to change brushes. We're going to go back to the flat brush. And we are going to put the second coat on his beak. That second coat always goes on a lot quicker. And like I said earlier, if you want to paint the back, you can. That's fine. I'm going to leave that blank for right now because I am going to put this sealer on there. Okay, so we're back and the pieces are dry. We're going to work on his eye, and we're going to do this in brown. And you're going to use your liner brush for this. Okay. And there's his little brown eye. While that's drying, I'm going to do some touch-ups around his eye, actually, with this lighter color. Okay. It's touched up. Okay, we've let this dry a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on this eyeball, and then we're going to put a little bit of that light colored mocha on there. Mocha color. Okay. So this thing is just about done. We're just going to dab that in a little circle right there in the middle. All right. Okay. All right. We're going to let that dry just a few more minutes, and then we're going to put the sealer on it, and then it'll be all set. Your magnet will be finished. Okay, so everything is dry, and like I said, I'm going to put the sealer on here. Use the flat brush. I'm going to start on the back. I did get a little bit of beet color on there. This is a glossy finish sealer, so when it dries, it is going to be glossy. Smooth it out as much as you can. Just going to spread it all over. Smooth out as many of those lines as you can. Just keep dabbing it onto the paper towel that you have. All of these paints and the sealer is non-toxic. You guys don't have to worry about touching it or anything with your bare hands. Like I said, this is a project that you're definitely going to get stuff on you. You'll want to work kind of quickly when you do this. Our friendly lizard, he's back in the window. Okay. We're just going to let that dry. That's going to take a few minutes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the finished project on this one. Like I said, try to smooth out as much as you can with that sealer. Okay. So there that one is. We're going to seal the leaf as well. If you guys wanted to, with the extra paint, you can always put like darker lines on there. You could even actually match it with Toucan's beak. You could throw some of the peachy orange on there. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to go ahead and put this on here. I mean, use your imagination when you're painting your project. You don't have to necessarily follow, you know, what I'm suggesting. Sure, it's your project. You do what you want with it. You paint it the colors you want. If you don't want to put the leaf green, you don't even have to do that. It's kind of nice to have that magnet attached back there. It kind of gives you a little bit of hold when you are painting. Oh, got a lot of extra blobs here in the Fern details. Let's see if we can spread those out a little bit. Okay, well, there we go. And there you go. So here are the two little projects that you can do in under a couple of hours. Like I said, the link is down below if you guys want to purchase these from the website. If not, thank you for participating. Remember, create a beautiful life.